Well, hello people, and welcome back to another episode of City Showcase. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we are looking at the city of Eridu by Granada, a 184,000 population city, with mods and custom assets built on the Rosalind Peninsula map from the Campus DLC, with a heavy focus on tourism and very little industry. Don't forget, if you want your work to feature in the next episode, fill out the Google form linked in the video description. But I've always wanted to build on this map, so let's explore, shall we? So let's start down here, and then we'll slowly crawl our way up the coast, shall we? So outside connection, not missing anything out here, am I? I don't think so, just water pumps, there's nothing else over there. A little aviation club right by the highway. Some train layers coming over as well. Into a little bit of a rail yard. Here's our first bit of highway industry, all generically zoned of course. There's also a little rail yard tucked in here as well, which is quite cute. Although we are missing a couple of segments. There was some missing rail networks from the workshop which I couldn't find, so I don't know if they've been removed. The loading screen mod report wouldn't pull them in. But look at that, isn't that nice to see the Countrysides DLC finally in a city showcase? Nice to see it coming through. It looks actually really nice, kind of mass zoned as a suburb like that, doesn't it? The wooden roof aesthetic is very unique. I haven't really zoned it like this yet. But I have to say, I actually really like it. I thought I'd only really be using this stuff sparse. A lot of the hay props are a bit out, but it's fine. It's just props, isn't it? But you know, across the sprawl, the aesthetic of wooden views, or wooden roofs in the view is very nice. A little band peanut parking pitch here next to some classic bush-lined pathways and commercial centre space. With the waterfront park, some more countryside props. Then we've also got some ruins on this island, but it doesn't look like they've been touched. No, this is all fine out here. Absolute insane conga line of cruise ships, of course. Welcome back to Cities 1, everyone. Over here we'll see more industry, an oil area for the first time, which is lots of repetitive extraction assets. Also oil rig platform as well. Factories, warehouses, and lots more storage. Some decent flow around the highway interchange here. It's just a AI idiocy thing here, isn't it? But otherwise it's flowing pretty nicely. Kind of a short segment there. You might run into some issues with that. But you know, you've made it to this point without issues, haven't you? So that's a good point actually. While we're talking about traffic, let me check it. 80%. Traffic manager is obviously present in a modded build. Well, 81%, so it's moving around low to mid 80s perhaps, depending on demand. Very nice. We'll also check public transit ridership while we're here as well. 7,000 tourists a week. I bet the space elevator is down, isn't it? I have a sneaking suspicion it might be with that high. But maybe that's what's given us our walking pawn. So moving off the industrial areas and the countryside, we'll come on to the very clearly distinct next district, which is a lot of mid-century modern housing. Mixed in with a bit of emerging downtowns on the main street. It's nice to see these newer content creator packs now starting to be built into these city showcases. Really love this. Lots of nice compact fencing against the residential here with plazas. Nice communal space, isn't it? Down the main street. I like that. As we sprawl towards the coast, across this big old district of mid-century modern, we'll see a train station. With a really nice little angle actually. I really like that corner there, especially with the Institute of Creative Arts next door. That sort of fountain. I love the angle of that train station on the corner. Very tasteful. Quite subtle, but makes an impact, doesn't it? Very nice. Back around the bay, this all culminates into a really nice bridge rail crossing out, so I really like how that flows through there. And before this next district then spills into a big old kind of European island. Isn't that cool? Let's check out this, what we got around it. This is sort of like service industry here. Sewage, garbage collection, power, etc. You can actually integrate a lot of this stuff nicely into your generic industrial areas. If you're not a fan of building industry. Something I do a lot is like include sewage plants, garbage recycling centres in factory builds, etc. Kind of helps disguise them. A really nice dumbbell interchange. This is very cute. Very nice. Which then comes into this little European island. So let's get a bit of a perspective here. I wonder if this is supposed to come across as maybe like an old kind of European fort sort of vibe, maybe. The isolated island here. I'm not sure if these waterways are present. Well, there's even fishing boats going down here as well. That is fun. I'm not sure if these waterways are there on Rosalind Peninsula or if these have been terraformed in. That's very fun. Yeah, there's fishing boats going down it. I like that. And then in here, we just have this big multi-block, all different angled European street front, which is very fun indeed, isn't it? So really nice. We've got European High School centered in here as well. Little parks tucked behind the buildings. I love how you tucked that in there. Isn't that wonderful? That's very nice. European High School with the Market Street asset also here as well. Always a faithful combination, isn't it? Then here we have the Statue of Industry next to little ruined fort, which has all been detailed up with the countryside props. I really like that. Great use of ruins, if I do say so myself. Yep, you've even gone for the old faithful information board, right? To show what it is you're looking at. I love it. Very nice. A little beach over here as well. What are you? You are our first custom asset we've stumbled upon. You are Tropical Beach Resort. So that's a singular asset, is it? Okay, so they're actually using the beach and it comes with its own little car parking. That's a really nice asset. Tropical Beach Resort is what it's called if you want it. Then of course, we also have the beach hangouts as well, and beach park. There's a couple of these realistic functioning beach assets on the workshop that just give you, you know, functional beach, so they come and sit here and sit on the lounges and whatnot. They're really good. I use them a lot in Thessia. But a nice little beach there as well. I like that. Interesting choice of location as well. I'm surprised you didn't put it here, but maybe the castle was already in the way. So we can see those fishing boats completing their loop all the way through this area, right? Then over here, just more of those angular blocks. A very nicely pulled off European area. It looks very European as well. All these sharper angles, little triangles, and regular square blocks. Really nice. Very cool. Nice distinct break from the rest of the city there, isn't it? Away from this, back over towards the Dumble Interchange, we'll spy a little bit of high-rise as another commercial main street and European suburbia district kicks in. And we've also got a little bit of high density. I'm expecting quite a lot of high density. I think it's all over there, isn't it? Maybe. There's 184,000 people on a map that's this small is no joke, because there's not a ton of buildable area here. Most of the map is water. So I'm expecting some extreme density to reach that high number in CS1. Intercity bus stations, it's across from our wonderful Fat Peanut train station, of course. Looks like we're starting to encroach upon some walking porn here, as there's 0 passengers in a week. Well, there you go, 108 through an intercity bus station. That's a bit more like it, isn't it? And that's been tastefully decorated. You've got the vanilla props and some surface paint or an airport apron here, just to open up that concrete space next to the intercity bus station. Very nice. And there's even pathways tucked behind this as well, you'll notice. Love that. Got gyms, parks and plazas all in between. Before we then move into the next bit of city that's divided by the river. Which will start off in Stadium City, it looks like. Very interesting. Does this have a name, I wonder? Olympic Park, there you go. That's why there's so many stadiums. Isn't that fun? So let's see what's going on here. We've got... not the aquarium, the aquatics centre. Baseball, basketball, football, 2 football, a campus running track, and the baseball stadium. And then all the pitches. So this is crazy. But I always love the Olympic villages. Lots of big arenas. Very cool. London's Elizabeth Park is always great inspiration for an Olympic Park build. For which it looks like you might have taken inspiration from that actually, because you do have the observation tower, which is quite reminiscent of the one in London. Oh, you've also got the old... Oh, there we go. Hello. Hello, people. Why we're all here, everyone, isn't it? Brilliant. How much are we getting on this per week, I wonder? 770 for an underground station. Amazing. But you love to see it. So he did also say that a lot of the transit lines in the city are very linear, which I guess is running in the shape of the city, isn't it? Which I'd quite like to just check that, actually. So if we can see the transit lines, yeah, it is all quite linear, isn't it? Which makes sense for the layout of the city. Everything's kind of running off from, I guess, west to east or east to west, right? Which is cool. It's kind of fun to have all your themed public transit like that. There is a few kind of lines running the opposite direction, but they all kind of merge back into running left and right, don't they? That was mainly coming out of the airport, though, to be fair. Beyond that, there's lots of high-density office and commercial tucked in around the edge of the stadium. There's little pathways tucked in there as well. I think you could have even taken that whole pathway around the full ring of the stadium as well. You do need Anarchy to do that. I can't do it in vanilla. I might be able to do it in Ilium, actually. But yeah, this is like a box asset, even though it's actually circular to the eye. So you could have run the paths all the way around there. That would have been quite nice, I think. But I love the detailing at the front. Isn't that a really kind of impressive street corner? You've got the depth of the stadium, also the depth of this one as well. Or the pedestrianisation. Big impressive corner of the baseball stadium. I really like that. Lots of trees, lots of palms, which is good. Upper Bowl Arena, one of my favourites as well. With, I guess, maybe a bit of an Olympics athletes village here. Using Brooklyn and Queens. To accommodate the athletes, which is quite nice. Nice repurposing of Brooklyn and Queens. Then some smaller tennis, basketball courts out here. Tourism tucked in around the back of the baseball arena as well. To make up a very unique district. That really draws in quite a few people there, doesn't it? Especially with all those metro lines coming and going. I imagine this gets nuts on a match day, right? Looks like we're about to get a match day here. Okay, we'll try catch some of those for the cinematics. I might even be able to use some of the console commands actually to set all match days at once. So that overloads, which might be quite a lot of fun. Crossing over the highway, again, via our perfect road hierarchy, everyone. Love to see this. Perfectly planned and mapped. We have some water wall kicking in. Again, with the main feature, a little motel on the corner. This also backs onto a bit of a wharf, where there is some stuff over here. More water wall. With the boat hotel, another functioning beach. Here we go, really starting to see the tourism vibes kicking now, aren't we? Another one of those tropical beaches. Parks tucked in all behind. I love to see this sort of stuff. Like a walkable alley space between the buildings. Almost looks like it continues even through there as well, doesn't it? Very nice. That's fun. Nice little district there. We've also got the Dosen Korean asset there and the food market too. And then we'll come into a big amusement park here, which is very forested. Very fun. It's a bit of a combination actually, isn't it? It's an amusement zoo, I suppose. Though I can't imagine the monkeys were overly happy with this swinging over their house. That's fine though. Don't tell the monkey police. Elevated train station also sits directly outside of this as well, which looks like it's getting some very nice walkability. Let's have a little look at how much we're getting here. 788, that's really good. Especially considering you've also got metros carrying pretty much the same capacity as well. But blocks of water wall and a fish market. And the fish factory as well, I think, tied in there. Oh, with a little higher density faculty building and a warehouse as well. That's a really nice configuration. Yeah, you've even thrown in the vanilla fence there as well, haven't you? Very nice. That's a great combination of assets there. And surprisingly, the faculty buildings actually kind of blend in with this as well. Because they're quite industrial, brutalist looking buildings anyway, aren't they? Special. Car parking surrounds all this side of another very busy amusement park entrance. This might be one of the busiest park areas I've ever seen. There's a ton of people coming here. Not sure. Weekly profit. It's actually not making a profit, which is very surprising. Maybe because there's so many assets in it. Tempted to whack that up. Looks like it should be making a lot more. Unless we just caught it on a quiet rotation, maybe. But the gates are very busy. As we leave this area from our Olympic Park, we'll stumble upon a bit more mid-century modern housing with some commercial that backs onto a big farm district, which we'll check out as we come back to the mainland, because I really want to check out the airport. As the rail and the road snake across these very kind of broken, fractured coastal lands. Quite difficult terrain to work with on Rosalind Peninsula. It is not a flat map by any means. And then we come into this big airport, which is absolutely vast. Also looks like it's built before the days of airport apron, which is fine. Surface painter is active in the mod list. So I'm guessing you just didn't want to paint your airfield. Oh, but isn't that nice? I love the airport entrance. Statue of Jerry Sr., of course. Front and centre. His influence was unparalleled, wasn't it? He is in every city. But nice landscaping at the front regardless. Also some really cute plazas by the tunnel that goes under the station. Really sweet. I like that. And hopefully some more business here. Yes, indeed. Lots of people make their way to the airport. In terms of the airfield configuration, we've got some fun things going on here. It's quite elaborate. But it is all flowing directionally. You just got the stupid people waiting to get in, but that's just cities playing AI, isn't it? Hangars here. We've also got some airport art, Eridu Air, of course. With commercial, airport headline building, or headquarters for the airline, rather. And also the airport metro station, which is tucked in and getting quite a bit of use as well. Very nice. And further down here, we've got the museum, car parking, another terminal entrance as well, which is all being serviced by bus. Multiple buses as well. There's a little black one there as well. Cool. Nice. I always love an airport island. They're always very impressive bits of infrastructure, aren't they? I love the entrance here. Art. Very nice. Very big. Back to that farm. Across from here. So you just simple repetitions of the vanilla farm assets. But it's given his basic farming capacity. Over here. Got some base game farms plop down. Or are they the barns? I actually can't tell what they are. They are the barns, the large barns. Yeah, they look different then for some reason. Maybe it was the colour variation that was throwing me. But yeah, farm industries, DLC stuff here, all packed in and processed into slaughterhouses, cattle sheds, flour mills, etc. Then we come in. So always one of my favourite builds of any city showcase is the campus. Very nice. This is big, isn't it? So a big block, very forested as well. Possibly the most forested campus we've seen. We'll see. Either way, there's a train station with a ton of car parking at the front of the university. And then pathways in between all of the buildings. A little bit of surface painter here would have gone nicely. I think just to fill out these blocks. I think with the, I'll briefly showcase it. Not that I'm here to give advice or, or anything, because some of the stuff I make looks awful. But I think if you just fill it out, it kind of just gives that plaza effect around the base of a larger building, right? Changes up a bit of the endless green as well when you have the surface pattern. And then you can almost kind of bring pathways through this then, so it becomes walkable space, you know, where someone would take a shortcut if they're walking through the campus. So just a tip anyway, not that I'm here to give tips or anything, we are to showcase. These are your cities, not mine. But over here, just a big random arrangement, isn't it? They're all different angles, so scattered across the campus. It's probably, I think, one of the least aesthetically designed campuses we've seen in terms of, like, you know, the main building isn't centralized. It's all quite, not, I don't think random's the right word. Just something like sparsely plopped across a pretty big area. Not a theme we really see with campuses. But I do like it. I love how many trees are in it. It really changes the vibe, doesn't it? Especially with these little forested pathways cutting through as well. And you can just see these kind of old stone buildings through this very lush tropical forest. Definitely one of the most unique campuses we've seen, I think. And we do have the main hall, though, centralised with a fountain and the commencement office, so there is some centralisation with the campus assets. And then we'll also find the School of Medicine over here again as well, of course, lined up against an arterial. Always an important sightline, isn't it? Those campus uniques. We don't see a blimp. Using blimps. Is anyone riding it? Is anyone using the blimp? Four. Four of them. I bet that's the employees as well. The people required to fly it. And then also the School of Law is over here as well, next to some little vanilla detail expansion on another metro station. Very nice. Great use of the airport apron here. The airport apron is in. Maybe you just chose not to use it on your airfield. Maybe it's that simple. Yeah, it is there. So you have used airport apron, just not by the airport. Wonderful. Nice campus. Huge as well. That's like nearly as big as the Olympic Park, isn't it? Very cool. We have a bus-only road there. We do. Although I'm pretty sure I just saw a car use that. Yep. Oh no, they stop. They stop and get out. Fair enough. They stand corrected. Said the man in the orthopedic shoes. Anyway, over here, we're coming into definitely more of our mid-town, dense metropolitan area here, aren't we? As we can hopefully enjoy a very impressive skyline sight line down this arterial road from the campus, which is where we'll begin. And there's underground cycling networks kicking in here as well, passing under the roads. Our arterial road here takes us down towards a big chungus Brooklyn and Queens district with one of the Japanese metro stations in. I love this asset. And I'll tell you why, everyone. Only 65 through that one. But it has stairs on it, right on the corner. You know, I think this, for me, could possibly be my top 5 favourite assets, this metro station from Railroads of Japan. It really is gorgeous. It's so fusible as well, because you can splice multiple of these together to create this like huge, almost like mall metro looking building. Really good asset. And I always love to see it. And it settles in quite nicely right in the density of the commercial main street here, doesn't it? Really like that. And then just big old blocks of Brooklyn and Queens. This here again is a little bit dangerous. Small segments can always get stuck sims. You're close enough there actually to tie that into the same node and then use node controller to shift them back. Like we do in Ilium quite a lot recently. But anyway, just another idea. Big emerging downtowns district, which I love to see, with another elevated train station here. That is a little quieter, but maybe it's just had some passengers picked up. But again, I love this. The sea of emerging downtown zoning before it. I haven't really used it like this either yet in a mass zone. Like as a whole neighbourhood. I only really use it on waterfronts or downtown blocks, for example. So I like the way you're using your district styles here. Very different to how I use them, but I think it almost looks a bit Green Cities-esque, doesn't it, with the green roofs? But I really like that, again, just to enjoy the sprawl of a district style that I've never used like that before. A lot of fun. There's tons of stuff in here. There's parks, commercial this side. You must be playing with the pollution solution mod at least. Or Game Anarchy. I think Game Anarchy is on. But yeah, they would suffer pollution otherwise there. But there's little pond parks in here as well, which people look like they're actually using to cross the street. That's really nice. Isn't that fun? I haven't actually seen them use that park like that before. I thought they just hung out on the bridge. We elevated a path in over that. Oh, because I'd see the bridge, wouldn't I? Yeah. Interesting. I can't remember them doing that before. Maybe I've never paid that much attention. But I didn't think they crossed over it. I thought they just stood on it. Either way, we'll grab this neighbourhood here next door as the highway cuts off here with a trumpet interchange. To an elevated highway system. This reminds me actually a little bit of Bogusia's networks, you know. Maybe a little bit of them. Over here, I love the detailing at the front of the mall. And we've got one of the Japanese metro stations again. With plazas, car parking, of course the excellent Mall of Marbles, which is absolutely surrounded by pure dense wall-to-wall residential. Everywhere, isn't it? I will briefly hop across the highway just to see the forestry again. I think most of the industrial builds here are just kind of processing, extraction and storage, aren't they? Well, he said in his submission he doesn't like building industry, so that's totally fair. Not everyone will. But back-to-back pulp mills is always a vibe, isn't it? Happy to see that at least. You did put at least a little bit of love into it. We love back-to-back pulp mills on this channel. Over here, as we come back up to this highway interchange, we'll see some glass plazas on the main road, which I bet has a wonderful... Oh, did you see the train? Did you see that train? Let's wait for another one. Hopefully it won't be too long. But of course, now I'm sat here waiting and talking about the train. It's never going to come, is it? Of course. There it is. There it is. Wonderful. I appreciate that so much. So much. That is a really gorgeous main street sightline down to your city centre, especially when you've got them trains passing over. There is more metro here, of course, next to the plaza and the exit ramps of the highway. Before we come into our first, I guess, high density area, don't we? We've got skyscrapers, towers, the aquarium packed into a super dense bit of area here. Elevated train stations, very dense custom city parks, holy smokes. A lot of stuff in there, isn't there? I love how they sit against the back of a station. Really do. You know what you could even do? You could anarchy the side gate under this station, so they're walking underneath the station to get in there. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Might try that in Ilium, actually. Always fun. I love seeing the kind of more official asset modded builds, because it gives me inspiration for Ilium. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Amazing. Hello, people. 1,744. Very nice indeed. And this sits in a very impressive plaza where we have tons of vanilla high density. The transport tower, the financial district's plaza, CS2 Curators Library, and the cathedral. In possibly one of the most unique combination of asset plazas we've ever seen on City Showcase. Look how busy this is. Gorgeous. I love seeing this busy asset. Wonder how many this one's getting. 189 next to basically 2,000. I imagine that's going to go quite a bit higher as well, because that's very busy. But of course, they're all coming back to this high density, aren't they? Which is really cool. I also saw the Arc de Triomphe over here as well. Shout out to the French subscribers, which is partnered with the Statue of Wealth, which is a very nice alignment. And a super interesting use of the Arc. Don't often see it kind of on an island like that. Again, it's an incredibly difficult asset to use, I think. Same with the London Eye and the... well, the London Eye is not too bad, but the Gherkin's pretty difficult to use. Cool, but then all this here, just big old blocks. This is 2015 Skylines here, isn't it? When all we had was no historicalization and just vanilla high density. But I think when you go so much of it, it does become acceptable again. There's a few illegal assets I'm not a massive lover of in here. I think you've got most of them, actually. Yeah, these ones here, the Surviving Mars ones. Yeah, none of this has been historical either, so it's all just been allowed to grow up to level 5. But it's these. None of these. I'll get rid of them. But otherwise, the residential's not too bad. There is actually a really nice tower. This level 5 towers here is beautiful. We use this in Thessia quite a lot. Nice asset, that one. But huge, absolutely enormous. Yeah, and then over from that elevated highway, the wall-to-wall and park kicks in. Where we see more underground stations, more unique buildings, plenty of them clustered around here from plazas. And then another mall with more unique buildings. And the countdown clock thing, whatever it's called. Oh. Have they always done that? I've never noticed that before. You guys saw that, right? He just cycled up the beam of light. Have they always done that? Then again, I very rarely place this asset. No one else is doing it. Was it just him? Did I hallucinate that? Did that just happen? Oh no, there we go. Yeah, there you go. I've never seen that before. 4,000 hours. I'm still seeing new things. But I like the way you've used that. It's obviously a big waterfront attraction with lots of pathways. The aesthetic of walkable plaza is there. And I'm sure, again, this has a pretty impressive view up to your city centre, doesn't it? Lots and lots of walkable quay. Complete this block here. Oh, before we come across this, what is this? Like a big gouged out channel for the metro to run through as it goes underground. I love that. I love to see people put a bit of time into like infrastructure engineering, even though from the CS perspective it's absolutely not needed. I love to see it. Layers, retaining walls, infrastructure. Very nice. We've got like 4 little layers going on here, haven't we? Really sweet little perspective, and it's all built into a city park too. Very creative way, everyone, to kind of merge your metro systems under and overground. A little gouged out kind of trench for the metro to run through with retaining walls. Very tasty. And then that completes this block, really. This whole sprawling city all the way up here. I'm guessing the city is done now. There's going to be no plans to expand over here. Oh, this is pretty gnarly terrain up here anyway, to be honest. It's really nice to see a city on this map. I always fancied Rosalind Peninsula. It's definitely one of the better campus maps, I think, along with Murky Coast, of course. Iconic. And now we'll arrive into what is very clearly the main city centre as we come into the Glassbox train station next to a big old building. What is that? What is that building? I've never seen that before. Obviously a custom asset. Eridu City Capital, which is the Wisconsin State Building located in Madison. I bet Phil's used that, hasn't he? Good old Phil. I bet he has used this before if it's from Wisconsin. But it's City Hall Central, isn't it? It is literally the state capitol building, and it sits so nicely in this plaza. We've got the QR code plaza at the front with the... Yes, look at that. Look at that massive walkable plaza. Yes, please. Really love that. Some extra props would have been nice in here. Maybe some food tents or hot dog trucks and stuff. But I'm not criticising that. That might be one of the biggest walkable plazas we've ever seen. And we all know how much I love walkable realistic plaza in Cities 1. Makes the world a difference. I think especially when you're sat out front of these big impressive assets. Like, can we go sit on a bench? Give me a bench. We have one. Oh, look how busy this is. Hello. Hello, people. Brilliant. Are the trains as busy? Not anywhere near. Interesting. The metro is clearly favoured by the AI, isn't it? Isn't that interesting? I guess that's probably reflective of the kind of lateral lines of public transport, isn't it? You know, no one's going north and south. Everyone's moving east and west. Even these trains coming in. Yeah, that one's fairly busy, to be fair. That's fairly busy. Yeah, I'm chatting shit. They are busy. Look at that. Look at that, everyone. This has got to be insanely busy, right? Imagine if you would have partnered your Metro Plaza with this building. Another 2,000, pretty much, basically. Imagine that'll probably go over 2,000 at some point. Love it. But give me my bench. Where is it? There we go. So, Old Man McGee. And sit here and look up at that grand Capitol building surrounded by all these very impressive towers. I love it. This might be one of the nicest city centre plazas we've seen on City Showcase. That asset really makes it. And a gorgeous asset it is as well, isn't it? So this is the Wisconsin State Capitol, everyone, if you want to grab this for yourself on Steam. Very tasty. At the back of the station, we have surface-painted industry and service points to kind of blend into the... Almost looks like railwork tracks, doesn't it? But you've managed to blend in, obviously, your city, inner-city services, garbage recycling, service points here quite nicely. I really like how you've done that. Of course, big wave of surface paint are present on these sandy tracks, or dirt tracks, rather. And then we have this elevated highway system also running through as well, which does come both from the arterial road by the transport tower we were at a moment ago. A little roundabout detail as well. Love to see that. And elevated zoo path. Extra points for that one as well. Over here. It definitely looks like a build, doesn't it? Yangi Yard. But you have the Modern Art Museum. A couple of the high-tech buildings. And the Grand Library here. With an interesting elevated system here. The road hierarchy is getting some interesting use, isn't it? Where are your buses coming from? I love this. This like dedicated bus line out of the city. That's really cool. That's such a good connection for your intercity bus station here, isn't it? Look at that as well, how the metro is cut in behind. Isn't that gorgeous? That's so nice. So many nice layers here. Really sweet. Look at that. I'm getting dropped frames here. That must be the amount of sims we're moving. It has to be. Brilliant. You're destroying my frame rate with your walking pawn. That is what I like to see. Brilliant. Over here, we'll come across an insane interchange. This is definitely custom, I think, right? I don't remember this being on the map. But it's bloody amazing. Look at that. Look at all the layers in that. So this, everyone, is a masterclass in how you use terrain to build interchanges. This is incredible. This is definitely not vanilla. This has been built by a player. So I guess the variation, it's kind of like a blend of a stack turbine, isn't it? There's some turbine elements in here, but we've got the stack layers. Amazing. And it's getting perfect flow, isn't it, eh? Couldn't ask for anything better than that. Down here, we'll come back into the city centre, where we have a green cities skyline present here. Plenty of parks in the middle. There's an elevated BRT system. Is this what comes out the other side? Oh, it is. BRT, we love it. Which stands for Bus Rapid Transit, if you don't know, because it took me a while to learn. I wonder if this was inspired by Rannoch. I hope it was. Looks very Rannoch-ish. Oh, don't. But really cool. I love your use of public transit here. See, we've got the buses. Hopefully stopping more frequently than the metro. We'll see if they do. And there's the second metro station here again, which isn't as busy as the centre box, of course. The Central Park also sits in here with the Eden Project, which is a very bold shout. I think if there is a place to use the Eden Project, it's in amongst green cities and trees, isn't it? So you can get away with that one, I think. And then huge green cities skyline continues with parks against the waterfront all the way back up to the Wisconsin building. Wonderful. A really nice city centre. Pretty small as well. We've got some really nice ideas in here. I love the BRT system, how you've got the bus access only road back to the highway out of the city centre. The whole plaza is amazing. Really nice combination just to make walkable, believable space. So much fun. Really nice stuff. As we leave the downtown, where are we heading here? I think we'll jump across this island and follow this road out while we're this way, as we enjoy the wonderful layers of downtown Eridu. Bit of modern city centre, content creator pack present in here too. Always a firm favourite, isn't it? Oh, you see the bridges, or the buses on the bridge. We've also got buses underneath this as well. Such good transit infrastructure, everyone. Possibly some of the best and most walkable interlinked transit we've seen in any city showcase thus far. This one really does have the walking pawn to boast. He wasn't lying in the city showcase. Brilliant stuff. Down here, meeting more ramps. I'm guessing this is coming from the highway, is it? Looks like it is. Yeah, we've got a big sort of Y interchange here, haven't we? Very nice. Look at the layers and the density you've got in that as well. Excellent interchange building. That is not easy to pull off in that space either. All the layers are perfect as well. Yep, no colliding hot dogs. Amazing. Very nice interchange work. Very nice indeed. European Bridge brings us into this isolated island where we're seeing quite a few things, including... Is that another campus? No, they're custom buildings. We'll get to them. But a lot of residential tourism. The Shanghai Pearl Tower with rock retaining wall on the waterfront. Yeah, and then tons of tourism, parks, nightlife, hotels, residential. King Leno's shopping malls with more of its unique buildings. Bring us to another beachfront with more of those functional beach assets. And then another observation tower, also up the hill here too, which is a nice spot for it. Dwarfs the old lighthouse, doesn't it? Just a little bit, right? That's like the lighthouse she told you not to worry about. Very nice. And then here, nice stadium on the waterfront with the casino in a big tourism area. We've also got some parks here too. Another hotel which has had the detailing very authentically matched out the front of it, or at the back rather, using the same props. Very fun. Botanical garden, horse riding stables, and general country attractions out here. At the other side of this island, let's have a look what's going on over here, shall we? So we're seeing custom assets. I'm going to guess golf course maybe, is what we're looking at here. Well, I'm guessing it's going to have a name. Vacay Parks, Crest Hill. So I guess like a holiday park, obviously. Camping and lodges and cabins and whatnot. You're also using... Are they... What is that? Yeah, you're using 2-lane plain streets. Yeah, I was wondering if you're using park life paths as roads, but I don't think you are you? It's just a plain street, but it looks like a pathway, doesn't it? Great asset, those. A King Leno mall up here with appropriate post office detailing behind. Very nice. Very fun. What is that? You are not a King Leno building. An indoor swimming pool. Custom asset. Very nice. I really like that. I really am not overly familiar with just how many amazing buildings are on the workshop. And then the Papago Golf Course with the Greenbrier Golf Course Resort building as its main entrance. Oh, you've even ran the road under the archway. I love that you've done that. Very nice. That's so cool. And but what a building. Isn't that beautiful? That's so nice. It reminds me of one of the campus uniques. Looks quite similar, doesn't it? But that's really fun. Golf course as well, of course. We've got loads of detail in here. Parks. Oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? Look at the effort you've gone to here. Detail in the backs of your cafe. The tables, the planters. Plenty of place to play golf. You've even used surface painter, even the grass to create the traps. It's so cool. I love seeing official asset golf courses. Shows how flexible you can be with assets, doesn't it? So this is really fun. Absolute node killer as well, right? Doubling up the pathways, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Of course, the driving range accompanies the golf course with the spa hotel on the coastline. And then many more hotels and what looks like kind of luxury of maybe self-catering accommodation with the pools using the mid-century modern. We then have the spa hotel with mid-century modern hotels and what looks to be a ploppable pool park, which is very nice. The Oasis pool is that asset, everyone. That's really cute. I wish we would have had something like that on an official release, right? We only really have the community pool, which is still nice, but that's a lot nicer. Over here, Spider Water Park, which again looks like its own ploppable asset, I'm assuming here. Oh no, it's not. It's all separate. What on earth are we looking at here? Venetian. So we've got a community pool. Props. A school pool. A water park tube slide. And then the Freibad public pool. I thought that was one asset. It looks plopped, doesn't it? That's a really fun water park. Really creative. Using some nice custom assets there. Did they just come out of the slide? Oh, he got stuck. Oh no, he's in permanent limbo. He's in Lilo limbo, isn't he? That's such a funny prop. Although the character is straight out of Roblox, it doesn't look like a CS2 sim, does it? I swore they just came down that slide then. Maybe they didn't. There's someone sat up top though, like a lifeguard. That's pretty cool. Okay, yeah, maybe they were just walking out onto it. Anyway, really fun water park, very tasteful. That rounds off with some untouched ruins. And then I think as the building collapses here into nothingness as we leave the island with another lighthouse. It's a really fun resort island. You're really seeing a lot of the tourism vibes come in from this city. In these areas, aren't you? Really fun. As we head back into the downtown space, we'll approach some Brooklyn and Queens knocking around near that mad interchange. think over here we're looking at, we've even got the Sunset Harbour station in here, which is a super hard one to use. And we don't see this one very often, just because it's such a specific configuration of metro and train, isn't it? But wall-to-wall with plazas, pathways and detailing lies all on this edge of the downtown, bringing us up to that enormous Y interchange. Before European suburbia city takes us up to the end of this landmass over here. So heading into this sea of European suburbia, we see we have a couple of little points of interest poking out, don't we? Down the main road, we'll find more commercial-lined Main Street. And a little park, which is interconnected with extendable pathways. A residential tower by a roundabout. How did I not see that? The Eiffel Tower. Okay, right. I genuinely did not even notice that until the last second. Very interesting choice. Just so hard to use. I probably wouldn't have gone next to low density residential personally. But each to their own. We were talking about the Gherkin and the Ark earlier, weren't we, as hard assets to use. I think the Eiffel Tower probably beats both of them. I think because there is only one of them. It's kind of does make it hard to use, but the setting around it is very nice. We've got more detailed walkable plaza space. I love how you use these tables. Even with an actual asset plaza aligned in between with fountains from plazas, very nice. Love the plaza work. And indeed, the underneath of the tower itself, to be fair to it, does lend itself well to the open plaza aesthetic, doesn't it? Especially when they're walking underneath it, I can always appreciate that. But very nice. You partner this also with one of my favourite stations, the upper level and ground level metro station. Metro, obviously, I'm assuming metro is the most ridden, right? Let's check our transit. Yeah, by a pretty good distance, although there's more bus users per week. We have seen some very busy intercity bus stations. Tell you what, I bet that inner city bus station is accounting for a lot of that, is it? Yeah, basically a quarter of it, actually. Interesting. I bet that gets busier as well, right? Very fun. Very good bus infrastructure, has to be said, right? More bus riders than metro isn't an easy thing to achieve. Wonderful. Away from here, we'll see the exhibition centre the other side of the metro station, partnered again with the Statue of Wealth. That's why I wish we could duplicate unique buildings in vanilla, because they're so versatile, aren't they? That's what I'm looking forward to in Ilium. He's been able to use some of the buildings more than once in the city. This road goes down toward that European bridge we crossed onto the tourism island with, where we'll see more Main Street lined merging downtown. Ferris wheel, more nice sprawling park space along the waterfronts. A recurring theme we've seen many times in the city thus far. That metro station heads off and underground, actually, linking up to a station we didn't see on the island here with the European districts, with a wonderful centralised hotel. Isn't that a sightline to behold? Nice to see some Mountain Village assets also making their way into city showcases now those packs have been out for a few months. At least so. Here we have the hotel next to the Cape Plaza on the waterfront. Do we have any more of those? Oh, there's no more functioning beach assets here. This was the perfect spot for them. Would have been nice to have a big beach here, I think, by the hotels and the cakes and stuff. Could have been really fun. Either way, back to that metro bridge that we crossed over the water. We'll come into the MIT, which is an asset we saw, I think it was last City Showcase, wasn't it? And we commented it's not something we see very often. And now we're seeing it 2 in a row. Of course, what else would happen? But really nice asset, isn't it? I mentioned that last one. It's like an unofficial campus unique building, isn't it, this one? It's the Green Cities University, if you're wondering, is what it is. Then European suburbia trickles back in around these commercial lined main streets. You also have to respect the zoning hierarchy as well, don't you, in the city? It's all pretty immaculate in terms of, you know, you've got the commercial on the street, industry separate away from the area. And then residential mixed in with all the tourism. Make up the scene. Player clearly knows what they're doing. Sprawling suburbia scattered with eldercare, which is a really nice combination there. Doesn't that blend in nicely? That triggers an enormous idea for me. We can use these assets to create almost like what in the UK you would probably refer to as like a separate granny flat within a wider eldercare campus. We're going to do that in Ilium probably next time. That's very inspiring. Instantly triggered a million ideas just seeing that. Yeah, really fun. Great combination that. I'm going to use this. I think you can maybe piece some of these together in kind of blocks and basically expand the footprint of this building, right? We'll take a look at that. Football pitch with schools and mid-century modern car parking, which isn't something we see very often anymore. So always happy to welcome those. I like this. This is just nice, chill, outer-lying suburbia. You've even got the logo exposed to a corner, which I absolutely adore. Isn't that nice? Perfect. with rows of bushes. I love it. That just connects through to a pedestrian road, doesn't it? Again, just a wonderful integration of networks. You've done it sensibly, no kind of awful level crossings across arterials that'll knacker your traffic. It's all very nicely integrated with the layers of the crossings. It's a really well built city. Oh, hello people. Isn't that nice? Hello academic library sightline. That's gorgeous. Very nice with the European zone in either side of it as well. Tasteful. I like that. Very cute. Great sightline that. The academic library sits quite nicely in amongst some dense European zoning, doesn't it? I don't hate that. You could even, again, not to be, I'm the surface painter police. that's what I am. I fight the rail police, the gradient police, traffic police usually. All of the different factions, but I am the surface painter police. Right? But a little bit of surface paint I think just makes that walkable alleyway, doesn't it, you know? Oh yeah, top of that, right? You can create so many fun spaces with that. I think it really works, doesn't it? Yeah. Then surface paint are so versatile. I like that. You can walk through these little alleyways, can't you, and hopefully take shortcuts if you find one of those archways. That should be when we found the one, I think. Oh no, there you go, there's another one there. There you go. Right? So some really cute, authentic European streets available with that kind of design there. Yeah, although I wouldn't have probably put a lot of the level 5 vanilla stuff next door to it because I hate these assets. This is probably top 5 worst assets, maybe? Maybe this one. Definitely a few contenders for that title, I think. Maybe we can do a tier list of the worst city skylines assets. maybe we totally run out of tier list ideas. This bridge takes us back over in another little European one to the horse stables and cute little backyard hotel we were at earlier. The clock tower's also here as well, let's acknowledge that. On the street corner by the academic library, very tasteful. I think there's almost something to maybe have the clock tower just at the other end of that sightline in that plaza there, right? That would have been quite spicy, but I'm not, again, not criticising, just thinking out loud. The European waterfront continues down to the Space Needle, there it is. I knew it was in. With lots of fun metro layering again. As we see repetitive unique buildings, the Grand Library reappears as just the casino for the 3rd time. With service and commercial down the main road heading into a little spot of density. This must have a name, this area. Damara Port. Okay, Damara Port Station. We all see the blimps over here as well. See if there's anyone waiting for them. This port is made up of 2 Japanese metro stations. Oh, hello people. That's got to be the space. Yes, that's definitely the Space Needle, isn't it? Hilarious. I really wish they would have made this asset just not look like that. Just like, I would have been quite happy to have an asset that just spawns in loads of sims just so you can stress all your networks and see the craziness. But I want to use it like in a build. What this is. It's just too space age. It's too space age. It clashes with everything else in the game. Exactly the same story with the medical center as well. It's not a criticism of the build, it's just a criticism of the asset. I guess the monuments and they're supposed to be a bit different, but like this is from a different game. This Cyberpunk 2077 compared to like vanilla CS2. It's very different. But it's fine. You have actually managed to use them quite nicely here. To be fair, again, as with the Eiffel Tower, with some repetitive modern Japan assets in, you've not done a bad job of blending that in, actually. I particularly suppose don't mind if it's these like panel textures. If you can keep them in the dark, it doesn't look too bad. But otherwise, away from the monuments, the plaza, and the configuration of office, transit, of course the insane traffic from the Space Needle is contributing to, obviously, your insanely busy metro networks that we've seen across the city. This is where they're all getting on, isn't it? Let's just see what happens with the platforms here. Yeah. Wild. Wild. Just, you can't even move, can you? Brilliant. Fantastic. How many riders are we getting here a week, I wonder? It's got to be into the thousands. Yes, 2,000. 2,000, and you've probably got capacity to move more if you stuck some extra trains on. Interesting, this one on this side isn't nearly as busy. I wonder if they both head to the same destination, maybe. Yeah, this green one is getting very little ridership. It does arrive back into the station. No, I guess just the train is less popular than the metro. That's all it is, isn't it? Or maybe it's just a side of a road thing. But yeah, they do travel to pretty similar destinations, but everyone is going to metro. So there's probably an interesting experiment to be run there, isn't there? Set up one of each public transit line, all heading the same distance, the Space Needle in the middle of them, and see which one they go to. That might be quite an interesting experiment we might run one week. So I love this. This is a really cute transit port. Even managed to use 2 monuments quite well. And then accompanying it, we have mid-century modern, residential, and more tourism. Rounding this out, the other side of the sunken networks comes more European suburbia with a really nice roundabout design. A custom maze, even using the Japanese gates. Very nice official asset prop work. Love that. Very cute maze. Little overgrown palm gardens, custom playgrounds with surface painter. Love it. Love it. Same with this as well. Really nice. This is really nice. Actually, this is better part detailing than what I do. This is very inspiring. Love how you use the tables. Even in the cafes you've done today as well. I've really enjoyed them. And then this sprawl continues back up to the networks. That brings us to the wine to change. As we see more train stations and services, schools, parks, all plenty of vanilla inspiration. I like that you've used the mods from more of the quality of life perspective as well. You've not gone crazy with them, which is always fun to see. Just removing those pain points that the sort of unmodded experience can bring, like Ilium, really. Now here we have a road heading out into the middle of nowhere, where we have a tiny little countryside town out here again too. This is right on the edge of the Rosalind Peninsula, isn't it? Really fun. It's a really fun map this. I love the mountains in it. It's very dramatic. You get some really cool views from here. Maybe one day we will build on Rosalind Peninsula if CS1 hangs around, who knows. It is definitely on my most watched list, I think. I like this map. That finishes kind of the shoreline then, kind of the main city, that whole hour walk along. That was a big one, wasn't it? That was huge. Which leaves us now approaching the mountains, where we'll see a castle ruin in that as well, alongside with a lot of the mountain village hotels, seaside resorts also, and countryside zoning. A cable car will take us back down into the city. Where does this land? Oh, just next door to that train station we saw. Very fun. The Nature Reserve Museum makes up with the ruins, and also a couple of assets in here as well for preservation and observation purposes. Rock bouldering. General nature reserve and country recreation vibes. With lots of very nice sea view hotel, you hopefully imagine. We can get on a balcony. Yeah. Even see another airport down there as well. Very nice. We'll get to that. The mountain road kicks in then. Country road, take me home. We'll see another castle ruin with some basic viewpoints as we see the American Truss Arch Bridge, which has been used very nicely. I really like that. Over the highway. Bringing us into more seaside resorts and European suburbia mountain village. Really nice use of the Japanese plaza there. It's great, just a nice little, slightly off square, right? Love that. Very nice. With wonderful views back across the whole dense city centre we were just calling around. See some of those interchanges over here as well. From this particular observation tower, in fact. Very nice. We have a water source up here, which is heading off multiple directions, serving the river where we saw the CS2 observatory building. We also have the blimp depot out here too. Alongside more mountain European suburbia. We didn't check if there's anyone waiting for the blimp either, did we? Yep, there is. There is. One person. I mean, she could have got on that one. She's got a long wait now. That blimp is not going to be back anytime soon. But yeah, there you go. Someone did use the blimp. At crazy busy highways, or highway, there is just a singular road, into a little private port facility, which is definitely the biggest industrial port in the map, isn't it? So lots of generic industrial zone in here. Cargo harbours, containers, post sorting, garbage recycling, power. A little bit of abandonment. And some rail yard facility as well. Alongside some ore stuff. Then these bridges link over into the cargo airport in a pretty unique configuration. Actually, it's a little cargo airport island, isn't it? I like that you've left some of the sand and backed up against the quay here too. Really cool. Airport apron out the front here. Use the airport apron on this airport. And then of course very busy cargo planes waiting, although you are getting queuing on the runway, which I don't think will be very, very, I've not obviously seen this before. Are they just going to start queuing on the runway, will they? Yep. Of course they will, right? This is late game CS now. The simulation is very occupied with everything it has to run. To be expected in the later game cities, I think, really. Traffic's not too bad, it is pretty busy, but we've got one-way roads directing people where to go here as well, which is always nice. And you've used the end of road alignment trick too. So they don't have to turn in and out and block traffic, they just go in and out again. Nice trick, that one. Very fun. Little industrial port and airport. And that brings us around to more industry, which again is pretty much the same pattern we've seen with all the industrial areas. It is just the extraction lined up and then either processing or export nearby. He did not enjoy building the industrial areas, he said in his submission. Over here, we have the really nice little embanked slip road system. Isn't that fun? All overgrown as well with some little palm bushes. I miss these palm bushes. They're a great tropical tree. They're only in the tropical theme as well. But this is cute. More European suburbia with a little splash of vanilla high density here too, and some Brooklyn and Queens. With a very that has to be a miss zone, surely. I'm guessing that wasn't intentional. But it's a nice just little country town out here, right? We're much less dense this side of the mountain range. Over here. I'm interested to know actually, do we have watch it in the mod list? We don't know. I would have liked to have checked the node account, but I don't have watch it turned on. As we leave this little town and bay, we'll see a spattering of church and low density residential. 4 water towers embedded into a retaining wall train trumpet interchange, which is quite cute. Yeah, trains going down there. Will the train police be happy? Should we check? Probably not. Probably not with that one. That's fine though. I won't tell them if you won't. And then this zooms off into the countryside where we'll see a big repeated solar plant partnered with a intelligence agency office, which is a nice combination of assets actually. Lots of glass and administration there, isn't there? Something to be had with the solar plant repetition, isn't there? And then here, what I'm assuming is a little service station right just off the highway. The actual service station asset itself. Public market, I think that is, isn't it? Yeah, the rural market from Countryside. Really nice asset, this one. And then some playgrounds. Before we come into a little installation of wind turbines, which have all been surface painted up with maintenance paths, and an office branch also out here. Always love to see some attention around the bottom of the windmills. Very nice. And we have more countrysides out here as well. Which is actually even being served by bus too. See them stopping by the little town hall here in the countryside district. I had to get the bus back into the city. So bus is even all the way out here. Very nice. This takes us up into what looks like a custom prison. I think I recognise these assets. I absolutely do. Yeah, we had these in Ilos, didn't we? I think these are King Leno's, aren't they? I believe. Let me check for you, because I know people will be interested. I'm pretty sure it was King Leno. No, they're Bad Peanut. My apologies, Peanut. They're Peanut assets. Yeah, I knew it was one of the big creators. Really good though. You get these little dorms, of course, functional with prisoners. And then you get the little towers as well. You can place separately the fence, like a whole kind of modular prison system. Really fun, great park. I hope they'd bring this back to CS2 at some point. I can't imagine CS1 getting a prisons pack now. Maybe it will actually, who knows. Maybe one of the content creators will make one. Although I imagine that'll have to be an official game update though, because that'll probably end up reworking the crime system, won't it? Yeah. Maybe. I'll tell Glossolid about that. Maybe we can convince them to make a crime DLC and update the prison system to be more like Campus, right? I think that'd be quite fun. Up here, we're clearly heading up to a hydroelectric dam. With a prison watchtower, very faithfully repurposed. I love that. And also the little gate as well from Railroad of Japan. Nice bit of security. Or a sound-barriered road heads up a very precarious ridge. To another little water tower, prison tower repurposing. Office branch and car parking as administration for the dam. Which is a big old boy, isn't it? That. It's flowing out to sea there. And then that completes the city showcase. Back up at the top with another row of wind turbines looking over an absolutely wonderful Rosalind Peninsula build. Thank you so much for sending that in. Really enjoyed looking around it. A map I've always wanted to build on. And yeah, so nice to finally get a look around a fully complete version of it. And there's some really nice ideas here as well. And a great selection of custom assets. There's some really good buildings in here. I love the Capitol building in the city centre. And some of the plaza vibes and the walking pawn are definitely some of the best we've seen on City Showcase. Don't forget, if you want your work to feature next time, fill out the link to the Google form in the video description. But otherwise, an enormous shout out to the YouTube members and patrons bankrolling these videos, with a shout out to our golden patron eggs: Spartan Angel, Michael W, Bad Wolf, Louis Adlam, Phoenix MD, Blythe, Jamin, and Great C. Thanks so much indeed for your incredible support. Links below to Patreon this game if you're interested. Otherwise, enjoy the cinematics of Eridu, and I'll see you in the next City Showcase. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.